your yard boss sound like this? It will start and then stop again, start and then stop. Well, let's go look at the carburetor on your combi and see what's going on. Follow Keegan to learn more, and as he takes it apart, investigates what the problem is, and then puts it all back together, you can walk through with him the step-by-step process to see what's wrong with your combi or yard boss if you live in the States.
Taking the air filter, I took the air filter off, trying to get to the carburetor. The carburetor's sucking in air, which when it needs to be having fuel in there to run, that kind of poses an issue. You need fuel to run and air, but when you have just air, it doesn't work too well. I wonder why I come home smelling like gas every day. There's your carburetor. So that's supposed to build 5 pounds of pressure there and pull 3 pounds negative pressure there. So it looks like it's working there. It's not pulling what it needs to. So there's no suction, so it's not pulling the fuel in the engine to function properly. Let's brake clean. The name suggests it's just for brakes, but anything oil related, it breaks down. Dries out your hands, so you're not supposed to get on your skin. Do with that as you will, but clean stuff up before you take it apart. I really don't like these screwdrivers. They're noisy and there's too much weight in them. You always lay your parts out in a way that you can understand so you know how to put it back together. There. Yeah. Well, that would do it. Okay. So, a couple things going on here. This is your bottom plate. And this gasket has these little flaps on them, and they act as check valves against those holes there. So you pump, and it closes. When you pump what's fluid through, gasoline, and it closes. You pump how it's flowed through. It stops it from coming back. So this one, we just want to make sure that it's in good shape. There's no cuts, there's no rips, and this is kind of a tough plastic. You can tell it's been used. And if I was doing a carb kit, I'd replace that, but that's fine. And then this one, This one's where our issue lies. So this is our top pumper, and it should not be clicky. This one's not too bad, but if you listen close, you can hear it clicking just a little bit. And so that means it's struggling. And it's like soft velvet is what it's supposed to feel like when it's new. So that's mildly clicky. But also it's starting to grade and stuck to our carb, so we probably need to replace that. And then here, in that little piece there is your needle. So as you pump, this diaphragm goes down, pushes on that, lets stuff through, and then closes. And that does that the whole time the engine's running. So pull it out and make sure that looks all right. That before you pull it out, be cautious of things little. It's fiddly and it can be a pain to get back in the first couple times you do it, because there's a spring, a bunch of little parts that are just barely held in there. Like that. Pull it all out, don't lose it. And there's our needle. And you want to check to make sure there's not any wear points, any cuts on it. It looks okay. So we can clean it up. If I was at a shop, I would put a new carb kit in, so these seals and a new needle. However, I don't have one at hand, and Mom wants to do this today, so clean it up and put it all back together and see what happens. Sometimes just taking these apart helps them to run better. Sometimes it doesn't solve it, it's a waste of time, but it doesn't hurt to try. My hands are a little out of practice for this. I used to do this all the time. I'd be really good at it. In a second.
Oh.
No. This is why you take it to a shop and have me do it. You gotta get that screw in so it'll hold it together. Not super tight, just snug. And always make sure your parts are clean before you put them back in, because in this block there is a million little holes and passageways. Easily get plugged up. Make sure this goes like this there, and then this goes there, and set like that, and then this goes your fuel sides on the same side.
One more question. What about the metal thing there?
That makes more sense. That's the broken one. This goes that way, up your throttle.
This is cold.
Because you're wearing a sweater. Not even a sweater, just long sleeves. Okie pokey. Remember which way it goes?
Which way it goes?
No, but I know how to look for it. That bezel end, so there's this end, it's flat. There's no roundness on your hole in the middle. This one's sloped. That's where the air goes in. So that goes to the air side. Your gasket
The
on.
not sloped side.
the not slope side, the flat side. The slope side mates up to this bigger hole, and the not slope side mates up to the smaller hole. Slide that on. Hopefully you remember which lines your fuel hooks up to. Maybe. And then you test to make sure it's putting fuel through, which it is sucking and pushing. Not as much as we'd like, and that primer bulb we'd probably want to replace, but it is pulling. All of these, if you're in a shop, you have in stock, and so you just put the parts in.
If you've enjoyed this video and the content that I'm creating, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, I'd love for you to subscribe. There's about 98% of you that are watching the videos that have not subscribed, so I'd really appreciate the subscription as it helps my YouTube channel to grow.
Drop cable up. Child labor works for that one because they have smaller hands. Make sure it works. It does. Again, just snug knot tight because all it's doing is holding that on. Not under any pressure. It doesn't need a seal under or anything. It's just holding it together. Okay. So now you can test it. That's how your choke works too. It just seals the air off there, so it's getting more fuel than air. So, in case you're wondering how that did it. Yep. Sometimes there's just a little bit of dirt in there, or a little bit of grit or whatever. And dies again. But you always want to make sure you let your small engines warm up, because if not, the piston inside gets hotter than the outside walls, and so it expands more aggressively than the circle it's in, and which causes an aggressive amount of wearing there. And then when that outside one does get up to temperature and warms up, it opens up, and because of that wear happened, it doesn't seal the same. And so it'll wipe, is the term for your motor, but it'll wipe your motor. I mean, that piston doesn't have the same seal, so every cycle of compression, it doesn't have the same power it's supposed to. And so it looks fine, it'll operate fine until you do a pressure test and your motor's spooked and you need a whole new machine. So start it, let it run up, let it get warm. It holds $1 worth of gasoline. You can let it warm up.